really going to want to pay attention to. All right. So the two things that you want in front of you right now are your blueprint and the blue piece of cardstock. Right? Remember what we said, a blueprint is not full size. So there's my body. The body of my blueprint or the body of my vehicle is 11 inches long. All right from here, 11 inches long, which we said is the exact length of your blue cardstock, and it's 4 inches wide. So the first thing you want to do is to block in that distance. So you're going to take your piece of blue cardstock. Remember what I said, we're going to use this edge as a straight line. And I am going to measure down 4 inches. So I put the 4 on the edge and I put a dot at the 0. So that's all I did. Right? I'm using the edge of my cardstock. I put my 4 there and I put a dot where the 0 is because I want that body to be 4 inches wide. I'm going to do the same on the opposite edge. 4 inches. I'm going to put a little dot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect those two dots very lightly. Okay? Very lightly. You probably won't even be able to see the line I made on there. You could barely see the line I made on there. So what I just did is I blocked in, I made a box, 4 inches by 11 inches. Okay? Now I need to put in this line right here. That is solid and half dotted. If I look at my blueprint, it tells me that it is a 1/2 inch down. So remember, that's the edge of my cardstock now. That's my edge. That's right here, the very edge of my paper. So I need to come down a 1/2 inch and put a dot. And I need to come down a 1/2 inch and put a dot. And then I'm going to make a very light line. I'm not going to dart. So I'm going to come right on this edge. I'm going to go down a 1/2 inch, which is 8/16. I'm going to come to the other edge. I'm going to come down 8/16. So all I did, I measured from my edge down 8/16. I measured from my edge down 8/16. And I'm going to draw a light line. I know it's half solid and half dotted, but for right now, I'm just drawing a light line. Okay. So that line that I just drew is going to be this line right there. Now, I'm going to come up from the bottom because I need to draw this line right here. I'm going to come up from the bottom a 1/2 inch. I'm going to come up from the bottom a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to draw this line in there lightly. So I already have my mark, right? 4 inches down right there. I'm going to measure up a 1/2 inch, up a 1/2 inch, and draw a light line. So I come over here, I go up a 1/2 inch, 8/16, up a 1/2 inch, 8/16, and I'm going to connect the dots with a very light line. Right. So now I've got my 4 inches. I've got my line a 1/2 inch up, and I've got my line a 1/2 inch down. So if I look at my blueprint, I've got my 4 inches. I've got my line a 1/2 inch up, and I've got my line a 1/2 inch down. Last thing I have to draw is this dotted line right there. And if you look, it says it's in 3 inches. So that's the importance of these measurements. They tell you how far away lines or measurements are. So 3 inches I need to come in from the end. So I'm going to take my blue cardstock. I'm going to go from the end 3 inches, and I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to go from the end 3 inches and put a dot. Now, if I look at my blueprint, this dotted line does not go from the edge of my blue to the edge of the line I drew. It only goes from the inside of those 1/2 inch lines. That's it. So when I go to draw this dotted line, I'm going to connect my dots. Dot, 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 dot. I'm just doing dashed lines. So if you see what I did there, this is my 4 inches, but that dotted line only goes from the 1/2 inch in to the 1/2 inch in, just from there to there. Now I can darken in my lines. It's a solid line from the edge to the dotted, and then it's little short jagged lines. And that's important to do because a dotted line means that it's going to be folded or it's something that you can't see. So I'm just going to dot them, dash them. And then I'll darken in the outside of that one. And there's your body. 11 inches long, 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch down, light line, 1/2 inch up, 1/2 inch up, light line, 3 inches in, 3 inches in. I draw my dotted line, and then I go ahead and darken everything to match my blueprint. So if I look at my blueprint and I look at my main body, it's exactly the same design. Now I'm going to stop there. I don't want to do multiple pieces every day. But again, here's the example. 4 inches down, 4 inches down, drew a light line. 1/2 inch up, 1/2 inch up, light line, 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch down, light line, 3 inches in, 3 inches in, dotted line, and then I darkened everything in. So I'm only concerned with the body of it today. I'm going to go back to my computer. Okay, you guys can hear me? So I know that's a lot of information, but that video that I post is what you're going to want to watch. So you're going to want to have 3 things that you're paying attention to. The blue piece of note card,